Okay.
I don't know where to look.
I believe we are live. Yeah, there we go.
Yay!
Yay, we did it. We did it. All right. Okay. Well, it's just you and me for now, but that's all right.
That's all right. That's all we need.
That's all we need.
Everybody else.
I'm really excited just to hang out with you tonight. So
that's how I feel all the time.
Oh, this is so funny. I can see 3 of each of us right now.
Okay.
Great.
I just need to really pause the hell out of this. So, I mean, or like take the volume down because otherwise, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. So welcome
I just need to really pause the hell out of this.
Wait, sorry, my bad. All right, cool. Hey, Florian, how's it going? I was just trying to see who is watching. There's Florian and Suzanne. How's it going? Cardboard Edison's in the house. Very cool. And your cat. Excellent. Florian, what's your cat's name? I don't know if we were properly introduced the last time we were hanging out. Well, we'll see. We'll wait. All right, welcome everybody for the first ever Board Game Broadscast episode. So excited. Yes.
Yay.
So I'm just going to do a little intro for the show, what the show is about, introduce myself and Kathleen, and then we'll get right into it. So my name is Pam Walls. This is my co-host, Kathleen Mercury.
Hello, everyone.
And what's up, Leo? That's the cat's name is Leo.
My cat Nebula is asleep right behind my monitor.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, Florian has 2 cats, Snowball and Leo. That's great.
Cool.
If I wasn't allergic to cats, I'd have one too. That's for sure. All right. So we're both board game designers, and we're members of Board Game Broads, which is a Facebook group for women and gender non-conforming folks in the tabletop game industry. So I started Board Game Broads because I wanted a space where we could support each other, since the majority of designers are cis men. The group has been really great. I've met a lot of awesome people, including Kathleen. Not IRL, but, I feel like I've met in real life. One day.
When we do, it'll be like, oh.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that Kathleen agreed to join me on this live cast. I think it's really great. So we wanted to start this show because we wanted to highlight all the awesome members of Board Game Broads, and we wanted to feature them on this show and talk about all the different projects they're working on, their contributions to the tabletop industry. So we will be talking primarily to other designers, but we'll also talk to publishers, illustrators, content creators, and others in the tabletop world. Not tonight. Tonight we're just going to be talking with each other, getting to know each other more, getting to know you more. But in future episodes, we'll be featuring Board Game Broads.
Yes.
So you can join the Board Game Broads Facebook group, which is a separate one to this one, by following the link in the description. Okay, so this is our first show. We're still figuring out what the format, but this is what we're working with for now. To start, Kathleen and I will talk about the different projects we're working on, and give you behind the scenes look at our perspective on the tabletop industry from our perspective as designers. We'll then have a guest, which will always be a Board Game Broad, who we will talk with for about 40 minutes. And then at the end of the show, Kathleen and I will each share a game that we like that was designed by Not a Dude. And then we'll wrap up, which will be right around the 1 hour mark, hopefully. And so we're trying to aim to have shows the first Thursday of every month.
Yes. Which will be fun because I'm basically spending all of the summer on the road. So I don't know where I'll be at Dice Tower. I'll be in some little closet somewhere. I don't know where I'll be for, let's see, that's July. Yeah, I don't know where I'll be for a lot of these. So I'm excited. I'll be like, where's Kathleen? Who knows? So
that's very exciting. I'll be here. So I'm so happy for you, though. I'm very happy for you. I live vicariously through you. But that's really great that you go to so many different cons, and that's really great. I just started my own in Toronto, so I don't have to travel.
Oh, that's even smarter, really. So
yeah, but it'd be nice. It'd be nice to go to travel around and go to more cons. So that's really great that you do.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so that was sort of my little spiel about sort of what the show is about and a format and all that stuff. So I want to just throw it over to Kathleen so you can introduce yourself and kind of let everyone know your deal.
My deal. Well, thanks, Pam. I mean, it's really what you so I'm really excited. My name is Kathleen Mercury. I am a teacher primarily. It's what I spend my life doing. I teach middle school gifted kids in St. Louis, Missouri. And one nice thing about my job is I have near total control over what I do and how I do it, which makes me incredibly rare in education. It is the best job in the world. And so what I do is I teach game design, because many years ago, I went to a session on games with gifted kids. Am I going into too much detail right now? Probably.
No, you're not roll and move level yet.
Okay. That's our safe word. Yeah, our safe word's like, Kathleen, roll and move. So anyway, I went to a session all about using games with gifted kids, and they talked about this game called Stratego, and that every gifted classroom needed Stratego. And I loved board games as a kid, but I have 3 sisters, and Stratego is a boy game. We didn't have Risk. We didn't have Stratego because those were board games. So I was like, what's this Stratego? And then I found out about this. I started doing research. I found out about this whole other world of board games. I started buying them. I started going to meetup groups. My first night was Pandemic and Cash and Guns, which is, I think, the best introduction ever to our little hobby world. Thank God Roll for the Galaxy waited till later, because I don't know if I would have come back after that one. I mean, it's a great game, brilliant game. And I was so confused. But anyway, but it was in the process of playing these games and seeing how much my students were loving them. And my thing is I want my kids to be creators, not just consumers. So I'm like, let's just make games. And like 12 years later, now I'm making games, I'm podcasting, I'm sharing. I have a website, KathleenMercury.com, where I share all my teaching resources all over the world, which is super amazing. I hear from people. One guy is going to translate them all into Chinese so that Chinese educators can teach board games in the classroom. So who would have thunk it? That one little afternoon session at the Missouri Gifted Association of Missouri could lead. But it's awesome. I mean, this is the most fun ever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's really great. And at the beginning too, right? At the beginning too, one of your first designs has now progressed. And
yeah.
You want me to tell us about that?
Well, so actually it's fun because I have a game with Colossal. It'll be kickstarted later this year. It's called Ragnarok. Although I was looking for it online to see if the page was up on BGG, and I was pulling up all kinds of, I think, Warhammer. There's a character named Ragnarok. And I'm like, oh, I'm sure there won't be any problems there with trademarks or whatever. So who knows? I'm pretty sure it's going to be called Ragnarok, but you know, we'll see. But anyway, yeah, it started off as a game called Dirty Birdie, and it was about pigeons pooping on people in cars, and umbrellas were bad and minus points. But it was a 3-dimensional board of a city, and the tiles had everything. And it was a dexterity game where you would poop all over people and try to score points. But then after everybody, their pigeon turn, the falcon would come out, and everybody would get the falcon and not down a big launch, smash each other's pigeons off buildings. And it actually, it really worked as a game in addition to all like the crazy dexterity elements. And so I would show it to publishers and they'd love it. And I took it to BGG speed dating one time. And after the event was over, like, around my table, and it was different publishers explaining to others how to play this game. But what would happen is when they would, I mean, right? You know? Yeah. And so, but there's so many components to it. They just saw everything and they were just like, oh my God, you know? So anyway, flash forward, I show it everywhere. It sits on the shelf for a couple years. And then my friend Travis Chance announces that he's starting a game company called Colossal, and he's looking for big, splashy, Kickstarter-friendly games. And I was like, oh, Travis, I have something for you. And so I took it down to Dice Tower, and we met up, and I set it up, and we started playing it. And he just looked at me, and he's like, God damn it, Kathleen. I'm like, I know, right? It's pretty great, right? And he's like, God damn it. And so there was this, because he liked it, you know?
Yeah,
and there was
this, God damn it.
Yeah, it's a good goddamn it, you know. And I'm sorry for the salty language if that offends anyone. And so anyway, so then this one guy who was playing with us, this German designer, German gamer, and Travis said, "Do you like it?" And he said, "No, but there is a game there." And the guy like eventually walked away, and I'm just like, okay, you know, I'm not unused to hearing this about a game about pigeons pooping and, you know, everything. And Travis is like, "No, you don't understand. He hates everything, and he did not hate this." And I was like, hey, so
German designers, I could see he doesn't like anything with a theme.
Yeah. So I mean, so so they signed it. And the thing that is a little bit the hard part was I had to retheme it, which I always kind of figured I would. You know, it's funny because people are like, oh man, you should have kept the pigeons. You should have fought for it. And I'm like, yeah. And guess what? 5 years of showing that game. And everybody, the publisher said, we love it. It's fun. We can't make it. I get a publisher who says, I want to make it, but dragons. And I guess what I'm like, dragons. I mean, because I actually suggested dragons. Dragons was always sort of my backup in my head of what I would do. And so it was hard switching it over. I mean, retheming wasn't just, you know, making the birds bigger, basically. I mean, had to completely redo the board, the whole idea, and the cutting out certain elements that I loved and had to really cut for the sake of the game. I mean, there's nothing harder than when you're really embracing the fact that you got to kill one of your sacred cows. Can I tell you what it was? Okay, forever in memory. So one of the things you could do in Dirty Birdie was, well, it's good because I accidentally say Dragnarok now because I used to only ever call it Dirty Birdie. So you can see like mentally I have crossed over. But there was a mating action. So if you had two of your birds next to each other, then boop, then another bird would appear in one of the nests.
Right.
But if you had one of your birds next to somebody else's birds, you could mate. And so what you would do is you take one of each from the supply, and the person you were mating with would put them in their hands and shake them up. And you'd like physically reach in to pull out the bird. And what I loved about this was it created actual physical contact between players for the mating.
Yeah.
I love that so much. I love that so much. That was hard. I mean, because the thing was, the game is funny. You know what I mean? Like, there's actual science behind it. I mean, falcons and pigeons are synanthropic species. They thrive in an urban environment. You know, cool, right? So, like, there's, you know, but it definitely is a joke. You know, like, there's definitely a hard sense of humor in this game. And so cutting out some of that humor, you know, that was hard. Like, I almost felt like I was eviscerating some of the soul of it. But I think we're back. I mean, because finally came around to sort of like the thematic world that made sense to me. That's fun to me. I mean, now especially I've played a lot of RPGs since I started making this thing, and like Dungeons and Dragons and all kinds of other stuff. And the thing is, at the end of the day, like the heroes are like, oh, let us go slay that thing. Let us go take on this thing. I'm like, why? What did he do? Like, you know, so now the story of the game is like, you're the dragon and you're mad at all these heroes who have like stomped on your rights and your autonomy. And, you know, you're basically a dragon. And so you're going to, balance the score a little bit, and you're going to burn them and their village to the ground. So instead of pooping on people, now you're burning them to the ground.
Maybe one day you can resurrect that theme, maybe in a different way.
Oh, I think there could be, you know what I mean? Because it is really fun, and people do respond really well to it, you know, or even like as we go on in the game, and, you know, who knows, like little winks of it can appear back. Like in my head, there's because the game is scenario based now, which is actually really fun. So it's not just set it up, play it. The board has modular components, and there's shifting goals. So, you know, there's different ways to play the game depending. And I want it to be very sandboxy, you know, so if there's like, you know, family or you with your friends and you decide to set up something crazy, you know, and like you can make up your own rules within the game for how you're going to do it. I mean, I teach game design to kids. Like, I love that. So I really want that to be, I love that that's possible with it, as opposed to, no, you can only play this the one way, you know?
Yes, I hate it. No, I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
Right. No, I don't like it, but there is a game there. Like, who knew that was the world's best compliment,
I've had that before. I've had that. I was like, it's a game.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll build on that, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that good? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. No, I
yeah.
personally have had a lot of interaction with pigeons. Last summer, they took over our balcony, and oh man, I had a water gun right by the door. I put up like CDs and spun them around because I guess they don't like shiny things.
That's
Now I currently have a fake crow taped to the railing, which has actually worked.
I mean, that's the thing.
Of all of them, yeah.
I mean, you're never going to get fired on by a dragon, but have you ever been pooped on by the bird?
It's a very relatable theme.
Who's the real enemy here? Yeah. Oh, you're going to a wedding in a cute dress? Awesome. I'm a bird.
Specifically pigeons. Are there pigeons in Wingspan? Is my question. I wonder.
Oh, there has to be.
There has to be, right? What's their ability just to like?
My favorite thing is
everything. Oh, sorry. I guess like we should maybe have a disclaimer of like we will be swearing in this live cast. Like just FYI.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I can't censor this.
Funny story though about Wingspan. Jamie Stegmeyer of Stonemaier Games lives in town, and I play games periodically at his game nights.
NBD.
And well, I mean, you've got your own Toronto little crew, so you just hush. But anyway,
I Skyped with John Gilmore last night. So whatever. No, please continue.
No, my favorite part is Jamie, who is incredibly kind and generous and professional. And when he was playing Wingspan, I made him repeat the names of all the birds who sounded somewhat dirty, like a ruby-throated cuckold or like a titmouse and some of them. Like, I'm sorry, what was the name? And he'd be like, titmouse. I'm like, yeah, your game, buddy. You say it.
I can't even imagine him saying that. That's
he's
just like ashamed.
I know. Jamie is very, very tolerant of me, because we're playing. This is a good one too, and this is a joke. But we were playing Castles of Mad King Ludwig, and he's like announcing the names as they're flipping over all the new rooms, and he's like the whole. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what they called me in college. I've never seen him laugh harder. I was like, I made Jamie laugh. So it was fun.
Well,
so what about you? What are you up to?
So, So my name is Pam. I make board games. That's actually Eric Lang. Like he was on a panel one year at this event that I coordinate, and it was like, all right, introduce yourselves. And he's like, my name's Eric. I make games.
Yes.
Like end of sentence. Yes. So I mostly do party games. I have a game called Hold That Face that was published with Hasbro in 2017. It's still on Amazon right now, which is pretty cool. It was actually the first game that I pitched got picked up, which is I think very, very rare. So now I've built up my rejection since then. So don't hate me. I also am working on a co-design with Jonathan Gilmore. That's why I was Skyping with him last night. So it's my first strategy game, which has been really cool, a really great learning experience. And it's been really fun. It's a lot of work. I have a newfound respect for strategy game designers, that's for sure.
I love that you're crossing over.
Yeah. I know when he asked me to do it, that little voice is like, do you want to do that? But it's like, just say yes and just do it. And it's been a really, really cool learning experience. Working with someone with such experience has been really great. Yeah. And to go outside of my comfort zone and to just evolve as a designer. It's been really great. Yeah. So I'm excited. That will eventually go on Kickstarter as soon as it's done, but we're still working on it. It's still in the quite early stages, but we worked on it together a couple weeks ago in person, and we made huge leaps with the design, which was cool.
Is this one that will be for Pandasaurus, or is this one that the two of you are going to pitch out and around?
It's actually, he was approached by a publisher to make this specific game with this specific theme. So, he just gave the theme. He didn't really give any other parameters besides that. So they'll be doing the Kickstarter. So yeah, it's not with Pandasaurus, just it's a different company.
Cool.
So yeah, from what I understand, I can just say like I'm doing a co-design with John Gilmore, but I can't really say much more than that. So I'll be able to share more soon, hopefully, because I'm really
It's
excited
Snoopy,
about
right? Snoopy. It's the Red Baron, Snoopy, right?
Ah, I'm not saying.
Calvin and Hobbes. Sam Waterston signed off on something. It's a joke.
Maybe.
No, nothing. Is it Sam Waterston? Anyway.
That did Calvin and Hobbes?
Yeah.
I think it's Bill.
Bill Waterston. Oh, Sam Waterston was on Crime Show. Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
I was actually thinking about Calvin Ball the other day and how someone should make a game like that. And I was like, oh, that's probably Flux. Which I haven't played, but that's what I understand. The rules always change.
Well, I hosted a trivia night Saturday night for Meeples for Peoples, which is a great charity. They provide games to teachers, any kinds of organizations, but they also do used games, which is nice because trust me, once you open up plastic in a box with the kids, it's a used game. So, that means people can, donate games more easily. But we had a sports trivia section and it was all like stuff from Geekydom, like what was the game on Red Dwarf and whatever. And so then one was Calvin Ball, and Steve, who put together all the trivia, he even put on the answer slide like the Calvin Ball song because he loved it so much.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, so I made everybody recite it along with me. It was adorable.
Oh, that must have been so much fun.
It was fun. So Hold That Face.
Yeah, so Hold That Face, my co-design with John Gilmore. Then I actually have another party game I've been working on for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
In one iteration, another, probably about 5 years, which is like the longest for me for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really changed. It's not even close to the same when it started. But it's the same sort of core idea. It's a drawing game and it's making like super weird art.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want you to have to be a good drawer at all. It's just making like weird, abstract, kind of artsy type things. Like you could even do like a blank canvas kind of idea.
Mm-hmm.
So that's with a party game publisher who I have wanted to. They were sort of like my goal of getting a game published with them.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. They're looking at it right now. For what I understand, they do have like different rounds of play testing, and if it makes it through like 3 different rounds, then it'll get published. So it's in the first round right now. I haven't heard anything. They've had it for a month, so we'll see.
That's
Keep you
awesome.
updated, but at least the door is open now.
Mm-hmm.
They know who I am, and like if this doesn't work out, hopefully another one will. So
that's really cool. That's awesome. How has your approach to party games changed over the years?
Geez, I don't know if it's changed too much. The sort of core idea about having fun and interacting with your friends and connecting with the people around the table has been there since I very first started. Obviously, the design has got a lot better. I was looking at my design archive box of all the games of past, and one was just like like a roll and move party game type of idea, and it's just you can see how far I've come as far as the approach of being a lot more outside the box from your typical sort of games. So I think like my design has evolved, but the core approach to it is probably the same.
Well, and I think for me, not being a party game designer, but certainly one who's happy to play them, most board games, you have to be able to articulate like what the hook is, like what makes it special, what's its special sauce, and then all the rules and stuff come from there. But in a party game, it's almost like that hook, the special sauce, is the majority of the rule set. You know what I mean? Because you can't encumber it with too many other rules about, like you have to be very specific, like with thinking like fake artist goes to New York, like you make a squiggle, and there's not too much more to explain that other than a squiggle. Although it does have that hilarious in the rules, like the flow chart that lets it's so like, it's like stereo instructions, like the rules for this little party game, but it's, there's really very few rules, so I think, how do you know when you've got that? How do you know when you feel like you've actually hit that sort of like special sauce kind of singular kind of moment that makes that game what it is?
Yeah, I think you got it right that when you explain it to someone and as you're explaining it, they kind of make this look like, oh, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's interesting. That's different. Because when you start, it's probably similar to a lot of other party games, like, well, it's a drawing game that blah, blah, blah. But then you get to the point where it's different. And if they have that sort of like, oh, like, look, then you're
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I think that hook or whatever might be there. But that sort of hook might be true for any game, though.
Right.
You need every game at this point, like, it seems like almost every game has been made. You need to have that sort of different aspect that makes it different from everything else.
Well, let me ask your opinion then on a game idea I was working on with a friend that's a party game. And when I say working on, I meant we were working on it
Yeah.
at BGG Con, and it actually was kind of hilarious. So it's called Friendship Elevator because everybody knows that what you do in an elevator is immediately start talking to people and making friends, right?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Right.
My favorite thing in the morning.
Well, it's kind of what I do, but anyway, so the idea with Friendship Elevator, especially in this world of social media, is you take pictures with your friends, right? And what better way to like make friends than to like put challenges to people? Like, so one was like we were laughing so hard, like things you could ask people to do in an elevator, but you only have until the elevator gets to like whatever floor they're going, if it's 1 floor or 2 floors. And we came up with this whole crazy list. And one was like, get somebody to take their shoes and socks off, have them chug a beer, like we're just all this other stuff. Right, fine. So then later on, my friends came like blowing into the room we were at. They're like, Friendship Elevator works. We're like, what are you talking about? They're like, we got somebody to take their shoes and socks off. In the elevator, the dirty, disgusting elevator.
In an actual elevator.
In an actual elevator, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes, a special shout out to John Brieger, my co-designer on this. So what do we need to do then? How do we take this terrible idea and monetize it? That's the question, Pam Wells.
So you're using a timer, I'm assuming, to simulate the different floors you're going on?
No, this is in the elevators. You have to be in an elevator.
Oh, it's like an actual place-based party game.
Yes.
So you would just
hang out. You hang out in elevators waiting for people to come and play with you. It's like the cash cab.
Oh, wow.
Except they get nothing.
I love Florian's comment about they like to say when the group of people are in the elevator, say, I bet you're wondering why I brought you all here today.
No, or even better, yes. Or in going with that, I should say, get like a wingtip chair that swivels and turns around and be like, oh, hello.
Oh, I've been waiting for you.
I'm so glad you came. And then Friendship Elevator.
People are just going to walk right back out and call security. Like 100%.
Yeah, but I feel like most of the time.
The convention you go to, because they're all in hotels, right? There's elevators.
Right. And, like at BGG Con, like if you run into anybody who's not at the con, all they do are met with like hateful stares, like, how did you get a room, But like everybody's there for the con, right? Everybody likes games. So, Friendship Elevator.
Yeah. I think you need to live stream your Friendship Elevator.
Yes.
At a convention. Yes.
Yes. Like Kathleen's hanging out in an elevator.
Yeah. Just going up and down. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean,
if it was one of those like clear ones, you'd be like that. You can have all kinds of possibilities. Like at Geekway, the hotel has one of those glass elevators, so you could that'd all kinds of challenges.
But you're just trying to basically convince people to do stuff. Like, what's their motivation to do it? What do they get? You have to think of something.
You have to like convince them to do it. And they have to laugh, hopefully.
They have to laugh and have fun. Yes.
Sure. They have to consent to like social media wigs out some people. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's a game.
Like, I love that this wasn't even, it's a game. You're like, not a game.
Not sure.
More like public harassment.
Yeah, fine balance there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, you let me know how that goes. Try it at the next con. I think for a live video segment, that would be amazing. But
oh my God, that would be amazing.
I mean, you could, if you wanted to make it like, a game, you're at a table, you have different timers with different lengths of time for the different floors that you can go to.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have different challenges of what you're trying to get people to do, but you only have, you're only going to the third floor. You don't have as much time. You get more points if you make them do it in the short amount. I don't know.
You better hurry up if you're going to get those clown pants on, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, so what we're saying is, what my point is, my devious trick is really here to make sure people understand there's a lot more that goes in designing party games than, hey, let's get drunk and harass people in elevators.
Oh, absolutely. And people think, that some people think that making party games are really easy. And it's just like, oh, I can make a game. There, it's done.
Cool. Go ahead and do it. Show me what you got.
But yeah, exactly. And the biggest thing for me is just, being an advocate for party game designers out there that, we play test games thoroughly, just as thoroughly as strategy games. And we iterate, we test again, we make changes, we test again. We go through the whole same cycle as everyone else. And it is to take away a lot of other aspects and really drill down to what makes the game fun with not that much going on, is not a very easy thing to do.
It's like, it reminds me of like in a kitchen, like if you're one of those like snotty French, not snotty, they're delicious, but you know what I mean? Like in a lot of high level kitchens, the audition to work in the kitchen is to make an omelet. Because if you can make a really perfect omelet, that means you have loads and loads of skill because you can do one thing really, really well that's incredibly delicate and precise. And I think it's a lot like that. Not saying that, omelets are simple. Basically, the point is that it's actually way more complex than what most people would give it, and I think especially when it comes to party games, I was telling somebody how over the summer we were helping to play test Just One. Myself and some friends at Dice Tower.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the thing was, our friend Stefan, who was working on the game, they had developed a French dictionary. Well, then they were working on the English dictionary. So when you say we were, play testing the English dictionary, people were like, really? That's play testing? Like, it is when the game relies upon the words that you're using and making sure that the rules are translated and everything. But I just thought it was really funny how people, play testing, heavy, complex, whatever, that's play testing. But, play testing, it was a little bit different of a response. I was sort of surprised by that.
Get a little bit of the nose turned up a little bit of like, oh, yeah. But it's, they're definitely, I take my party game playtesting very seriously. But yeah, to go back to your egg analogy, it's like making a perfect soft-boiled egg. There's no other ingredients in it. It is like simple, stripped down. Although some party games have quite a bit of stuff going on too. So like there's such a range of party games, and the way that and I love that we're talking about party games like for the whole time, which is great because I feel like a lot of people maybe don't give a lot of thought to it, but
you know what though? I mean, it's like it's the icing on the end of icing on the cake. It's like at the end of the day,
it's fun.
Like
fun. Yeah,
you and your friends, you've been playing all these heavy games. You've been testing stuff. You've been working with publishers, and at the end of the day, like the same games, like will hit the table as far as boom, time's up, boom, eat poop you cat. I was on the podcast 5 Games Until Doomsday, where you come up with like the 5 games that you would save, and that was really, really tricky. To pick the 5 games that I would save. But my 5th game, or one of them, was Eat Poop You Cat. And it's pen and pencil. You don't need anything. It's basically a free-form version of Telestrations. You come up with your own statements. You don't get one word. That's basically it. But I have had more fun at cons playing that with my friends, so that when it came to the 5 games I wanted to save, it was the game that meant so much to me as a person, because it just encapsulated why I love game conventions, why I love gaming, why I love all my friends in gaming, because making them laugh hard is like one of my favorite things to do ever.
No, that's absolutely it. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love designing party games so much, is that something I created made somebody laugh. And I feel like it's the closest I'm going to get to ever being a comedian. You know, it's like to see people sit around and laugh and have a great time with situations you came up with or different things that you created, and they're reacting to it in that way. It's just so gratifying. It's such a great feeling. But there's the main sort of like structure that I kind of give, or framework that I kind of give it to defines what a party game is for me is it's called the Myself system. And this is the framework I work in when I design party games. Because some people might call like Trivial Pursuit a party game, which I would not, because I don't think oh yeah. And Nick, what's up? And Nick, she wants to know what your other 4 games. Wait, okay, let me just do the Myself system and then we'll come back to your games.
Okay.
So this is how I design party games. So M is mentally stimulating, which quite a few party games these days do not have. Social interaction, which is so great. And I think that's why I personally love party games. Like why you want to bring it to the island, because you want to be able to connect with people still. Such a basic human need that I think is so great that party games provide. E is easy to learn. L, laughter, which is the greatest as a designer, but also as a player. And then
Sadness, the party game.
Yeah. That's a big no. Yeah. and then fast paced. And that's why I say this all the time, but that's why Codenames, not the dual version, but the standard version, is not a party game in my mind. It is far too slow. My party games need to be fast-paced or at the very least well-paced. And that's why Codenames way too much downtime. So yeah, that's just sort of the framework that I work in. If my game hits those 5 points, it's a party game and it's probably gonna do well.
Well, and I totally respond to this because, for me, I love games that are so thematically and mechanically entwined. It's almost like you don't feel like it's a game as much as you're in this sort of like immersive simulation. And for me, immersive can be like, it's emotionally invested, right? And so like, I would be like, yeah, I'm a shark. Yeah, I want to get in it, So, and that's why I think especially my little, Dirty Birdie and all that, has definitely like a party game like element to it because, it has that like we're all having fun, like, fast paced smashing stuff around. It's just like there's points and stuff like that. But it definitely has like that balance, which was really important for me to keep when I had to thematically shift it over because I didn't want to lose that element. Like it would be ridiculous to have this game be like, like I need to plot out where I'm going to move my dragon and who this, what I mean? How much, when you in Dirty Birdie, if you dropped 1, you could drop 1, or you could also drop a deuce. You drop 2 cubes at once. Like that was the stuff I had to cut. I mean, I'm still happy. Trust me, the game is still like funny. You know what I mean? It still has its moments, but I had to cut
little umbrellas. Like actual little umbrellas?
No, they're printed flat, but they're also Angry Birds umbrellas too, just because I thought that was funny.
That's awesome.
We did not have the license. This was on the prototype. Well, it's funny because I actually found once at a garage sale a board game called Sensitivity, and it was all about the excitement. It was from the 70s, and it was all about the excitement of group therapy. And everybody had like this big placard. And on the placard, it basically had all these artifacts like receipts and stuff. And you had to piece together. And it was basically super wealthy people who were super mad at each other. And I don't know where it is. And I hope I haven't lost it because, my God, think of what we could do with Sensitivity nowadays. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well,
okay. Is Sensitivity one of the games you would bring to the island with you?
No. It would. Oh, and then there's like voting cards that you'd have to do if you thought people were being like emotionally honest and stuff like that.
This is the 80s?
70s.
70s?
Yeah. Yeah, like in all the box, it's like solid black with like a silhouette of like a white dude. And it's like no winners, no losers, no dice, no spinners, just honest, open conversation.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Like, I don't like really talking about feelings. So I'd be like, but we had fun with it as it was. We tried, I think, actually to play it once. We're just like, this is like, I mean, literally, like one of the artifacts is like the note from the mom telling her daughter that she's like too overweight and she needs to cut out the starches. I was like, wow, they had low carb dieting back then. Like, that's cool. I didn't really knew that. And I was all right. So my 5 games, in case a hearty little segue. The first one that I had was is Survive Escape from Atlantis, which is as much fun to play as it is to win. I don't almost care if I win or not, but it is so mechanically, thematically entwined. Everything makes sense. Sharks eat people, not boats. Duh. Whales smash boats, but they don't eat people, obviously.
And sharks don't eat too many people, you know.
Huh?
Sharks don't eat too many people. They're not
right. Yes. Oh, trust me. I teach filmmaking to my 8th grade, and we have talked long and hard about how Jaws is specifically, responsible for the decimation of shark populations.
Yep.
Yes. But narratively, and then Sea Monsters Smash Everything. It's just really fun. It's a game that I've used with my nieces and nephews when they had trouble losing games. It's a game I use with them because you just kill off so many people that it doesn't really matter if you lose 1 or 2, you know what I mean? Like, and you make it fun. Like, they'd swim the little shark up and be like, hello, delicious. You know what I mean? Like, we just made a game out of you losing, and you have to, because if you hate losing, then you can't ever play games, or you're terrible to play with. And we all know people like that. So Survive Escape from Atlantis. It's my favorite game.
Is this in order? Like,
I think this is an order in which I talked about. Survive Escape from Atlantis, and Julian Cortland Smith sent me a friend request on Facebook, and I know I probably just popped up in a people you may know thing, and I got board gamey stuff, so fine, whatever. But literally, I was like, I have done it. Julian Cortland Smith knows who I am. Boom, and I'm like sending a message like, I know you don't really know me, but oh my gosh, I love it so much. It's like, are you going to S? And I'm like, no, school year, blah. But who knows? Ooh, UK Games Expo, I'm going. Maybe I'll meet my hero. So anyway, that's one. Second is Catan, because a lot of my really good friends in the gaming industry, they work for Catan. So I end up working with Catan in the summers just so we can keep hanging out. But I think it's such an incredible game. And from a design standpoint, I'm incredibly jealous of it. Because even though we get fussy about certain things, and there's certain things in that game that would not be okay nowadays, like to roll for the core resources is such a negative, you know what I mean? Oh, you can't have that. But in that game, it works. And because there are millions of people who play that game every single day, its impact on the gaming industry is one that you'd have to save Catan for that purpose. My third is Le Havre. It is my favorite Euro. It's my favorite Uffe Rosenberg. And it was a game that I learned early in my gaming career. And it looks so intimidating. But then the way the game actually scales as you play, and I realized this game is actually not that complicated. It's really elegant as far as how it works, and I could understand it, and I could feel like I could play it well. And it was the first big game that I felt like, okay, I can do this. I can play with the rest of them. Iron Dragon is my dark horse, I guess. But it's an Empire Builder series game. It is my favorite game. It is a game I could play every single day. It is a game I picked because my boyfriend, Mark, it's the game we have played the most together. It's a crayon train game set in a fantasy world. And I just love it. That part of my brain that likes to make a plan and execute it with minimal interaction from other people is fine. And then finally, my favorite party game, other than yours now.
Yeah.
You poop your cat.
It's okay if you haven't played it. It's okay if you haven't played it. I won't hold it against you.
Yeah. Thank God. Okay. So yeah.
I won't forget it.
I'm going to buy it on Amazon. Hold your face.
There
Write
you go.
it down. I'm gonna post a copy of my receipt in the group within 5 minutes of this.
Leave a review.
Oh God, that too. Okay. God. No, of course. Once I play it. So anyway, so Eat Poop Your Cat.
Yeah.
It's illustrations, but the best part is you just come up with your own things. And so if there's a funny thing that somebody said earlier, you write that down and it's not about trying to actually draw it. You're basically trying to make a joke and set somebody up on the next joke. And I remember there was one time we were playing this, and I don't remember where it started. It doesn't matter. But someone had drawn basically like out in space, like little planets. And on one of the planets, there's a stick figure, but the stick figure just looked a little bit sad. I don't think it was intended to, but just a little sad. And the caption somebody else came up with was, "You're just not happy anywhere, are you?" And I was like, oh my God, that's so freaking funny.
That's good.
Right. Like but it's like the whole night is like that. Like we've had it, we're just like sheet after sheet. It's just so funny from start to finish, where they start, where they end. Oh my gosh. So yeah, those are my 5.
Well, if everyone watching could also write their top 5 games that they would bring to an island in the comments, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Well, and then you have to pick the one that you would save. Like, okay, then like you're crossing the stream. Then what is the one out of all the rest you would save? Then you have to do that. So
maybe we should just say, so what's your one then?
I would say do the 5. Do the 5 because 1 is hard. Because we've all been asked, what's your favorite game? And you're just like, seriously. Yeah. Like I've got 1,000 games in my collection and there's like 500 more I want to get just so I can sell them later for half of what I paid for. Come on
now. I've got about 50. I was totally listening to what you were saying, but I was also writing down my top 5 at the same time.
Oh, good. Hey, I just want to give a shout out to Ben Maddox. If you haven't listened to his podcast, 5 Games from Doomsday, see what a good idea this is? Listen to his podcast. It's great. We're not stealing your idea, Ben. We are celebrating you. Seriously, it was such a fun exercise in thinking about games and my relationship, and now I'm going to let you have that fun.
All right. Well, I mean, I literally did this in 20 seconds while I was talking to you. So this might not be 100% accurate, but we'll see. So I have Catchphrase, which is my all-time favorite party game. If anyone doesn't know, it's like hot potato. You have this little digital thing that has a word and you try to get your teammates to guess the word. And once they guess it, you throw it to the next person. And if it buzzes when it's in your hand, your team loses. It is always a good time. Always a good time. I put Sushi Go just so I can have a drafting game in there. It's fun. It's like a little bit thinky, just a little bit.
My students play that I've got like 25 kids that come to my room every day for lunch, and that game hits the table almost every single day.
I'm sure. And especially I would bring Sushi Go Party so that you have a bit more options, a bit more variety. But yeah, it's always fun. It's always different. You never know. So yeah, if people don't know that game, but it's you have a hand of cards, and then you pick one and you pass the rest to either side, and then you get the rest more cards into your hand. Then you pick another one. Yeah, so it's a card drafting game. And I did put Codenames. I know, like I'm saying, Codenames isn't a party game, but I still love it. I think it's great, and I really want to play the Disney version. I haven't played that yet. I think that'd be super fun.
Well, I give the Harry Potter one, and it plays differently because it's co-op and stuff like that. I just need to sit down and like actually learn to pull it off the shelf, but I'm excited about that one.
Co-op would be interesting because then there's probably less downtime because you're not waiting for the other team to go through their clues. I have Camel Up, which I played for the first time over Christmas, which was so much fun. Or Camel Cup, whatever, the camel game.
Right.
So it's like a camel racing game, and it feels like you're betting, and it actually feels like the camels are racing, and they're going on top of each other. Some of them are going the other way. There's a little pyramid with dice. Just the whole thing is so much fun. My parents got super into it. We all got super into it. We're all like standing up, like, come on, green. Come on, green. Oh, it's such a great game. And then I threw in Lords of Waterdeep because I wanted a worker placement in there, and one that
I love worker placement.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't played too many, but I really like it. I think it's a really cool idea.
Have you played Viticulture?
I have not.
Well, see, the thing that's interesting to me about Viticulture, because it goes in seasons, and you can only place in seasons, so it's almost like a giant rondel wheel that's overlapped on it. I mean, I think that's really interesting. Now, and obviously it makes sense because of the seasons when it comes to wine and stuff like that. But to have a worker placement game where it's not just like cycling through the same actions over and over and over again, but that there's some sort of real thematic reason why you have access to some versus others. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. Rather than having access to everything all the time. I like that.
Yeah.
Are you just pumping Jamie's tires though?
No, I'm really not. I'm really not. No, I like that aspect of the game. No,
that is super cool. I'm gonna try that. Yeah, so I have like mostly sort of party games, but then one sort of thinky strategy one in there. So let's see what everyone else wrote. So
let's see.
I'm gonna see if I click on this. Hopefully it doesn't.
Let's see. Ooh, good. We've got to see popping up. Let's see. Sarah Reed.
Yeah.
Seasons. Sentinels of the Multiverse. Dominion. I remember when I saw Dominion for the first time, I was like, that looks terrible. And then I played him like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
Like it has a really good feel to it. Like in getting that, it's fine. Century Golem and Dice Forge. Solid. Let's see. Florian. Snake Oil. Code names. Catopoly, Monopoly, except for cats. Suro and Rory Story Cubes. Hey, Florian, Rory of Rory Story Cubes. And what's the name of their game company? It's something studio. Anyway, they're looking for games. They would love to expand their set of their designers to be more diverse. So they're actively looking for designers for their company. So you should consider that. Let's see. What else do we have? Are you there? Are you just listening to me or am I frozen? Oh, no, you're there. Okay,
I'm listening to you, but it kind of looks like you're frozen on my one screen, but maybe like Sarah and anyone watching, is Kathleen frozen right now? I don't know.
If I am, hopefully it's cute.
It's you look like this for me, like.
Oh, because on mine I'm actually like looking down and like my face is like 500 dimples. But you know what?
Well, you look like this, and I look like this. So
okay. Well, you know what? We're great. Let's see. Tristan Miller, Azul, Lords of Waterdeep, Splendor.
Oh yeah, Splendor's a good one.
Another one.
Oh, you get Lords of Waterdeep too. Sweet.
Yeah, I love Lords of Waterdeep. My friend Willie, he has pimped out every single element of that. He's got the metal coins. He's got he's upgraded like everything multiple times. He's got like the hand painted meeples for everything. Literally, the only thing that hasn't been touched is the boards and the cards and everything. Like the there's no paper gems. You use red crystals. The gems.
Does he have actual buildings?
Skulls. Yeah, he's got the little building pieces that go in the corners and stuff like that. So it's like a $500 game now, but
that's pretty cool.
I actually sold my copy of the game and the expansion because I'm never going to play it because we'll just play Willie's because it's like Valhalla.
I actually, the very first time I played Lords of Waterdeep, I was introduced to it by Nick, who's watching right now. Oh, yeah, and it was like it was a lot going on, but I was like, this is cool. And I wanted to keep playing it. I just see there's so much. I could play it so many times and still still learn something new every time.
That's cool. Well, and as far as Sentinels of the Multiverse, Greater Than Games is here in St. Louis too. I've got a lot of friends who work there, and they are lovely, and they were very generous in the for the Meeples for Peoples auction that we had in terms of donating games. So we love Sentinels of the Multiverse, and we love Greater Than Games. They truly are greater than.
Sweet. Did we get everyone? I think we did.
I think we did.
Okay, because we only have 7 minutes left, and we need to share our games that we played.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, oh my God, I completely forgot. I told people, tune in because I'm going to announce who is talking at Prototio this year, and I have not done that yet. I've made them wait 54 minutes before I'm going to do it. So here you go. If anyone's watching, waiting to hear who will be talking at Prototio. So Friday night, we're going to have Jonathan Gilmore talk. He's going to be the headliner for the Friday night, which is going to be awesome. So if anyone who doesn't know, he did Dead of Winter, Dinosaur Island, Kids on Bikes. And
I have a funny story, but go on.
Okay. And then on the Saturday night, I'm super excited about this. We're going to have an event called Prototio Top 10, something like that. And we're going to have 3 judges that are going to be checking out all of the prototypes. And then they're each independently going to make their top 10 lists, just like, sort of inspired by Dice Tower top 10 shows. They're not going to share them with each other. And then on the Saturday night, they'll reveal one at a time, going from 10 up to 1, their top 10 designs of the weekend. And the judges are going to be Carol Tan, who is awesome in Toronto. And they're in charge of marketing and video editing with Leader Games, who did Root and Vast. Also runs Quickie Games here in Toronto, which is a great gaming group. Nicole Hoy will be on the panel.
Oh, cool.
Content creator, writer, podcaster, contributor to the Daily Worker Placement, and co-host of Great Way Games podcast.
Lovely.
And Mandy Hutchinson, who is awesome, from Dice Tower, who inspired the Top 10 concept. Co-hosts the Dice Tower podcast and appears on Dice Tower's Monday night Teach and Plays. Yeah, and has amazing hair and style and is very cool. So yeah, so I'm very excited for our speakers. This is Prototio. Oh, so I maybe should explain what Prototio is. It is a tabletop game design convention that I started in Toronto. It's a weekend-long playtesting event. It's September 27th to 29th, 2019. Tickets are not on sale yet, but they'll be going on sale soon.
Cool.
Yeah, so that was that. So moving on. So at the end of each show, we are going to each share a game that we enjoy, designed by Broad. And so I have one, and I want to give like clues and see if you can guess what it is.
Okay.
And like people watching can also guess. Okay, I have 3 clues. It is one of the most, or if possible, I don't know, maybe the most popular game in the world. All right. Here's the next clue. Apparently, its name means to build in Swahili.
Oh, I know what this is.
Anyone have any guesses?
Oh God, because it's one that's like ubiquitous.
And designed by Leslie Scott. I don't know if that will really help because no one knows who designed this, but those are the 3 clues you get. Okay.
You're gonna kill.
Ready for it? No one's made any guess that I can see in the comments. Okay. Chance. Ready?
Yes.
Jenga! And you got it just in time.
I lent my copy to one of our middle school social studies teachers today because she uses it to explain like the lead up to the Civil War.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
How? Like,
you pull out the South and the North crumbles? I don't know.
Okay, cool.
Yes, I mean, I'm more familiar with it as a drinking game, but yeah, no, that's cool. No, that's you.
Sorry, Florin. If you knew the answer, I should have waited a second longer. But Nick did get it in time. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so that's mine, Leslie Scott. Everyone should know that name because Jenga. Everyone knows Jenga. You go into Snakes and Lattes, go into any board game cafe. Guarantee you, someone's playing Jenga.
I have to hide mine from my students, so they will play that instead of other games.
Yeah, it always comes crashing down right next to you and you spill your drink, but it's okay. Right. And a lot of these oversized Jengas are really popular now, like at weddings and stuff. Like my sister's wedding, she had an oversized Jenga that we played that was super fun.
It'd be cool if you could drill it out, put like shot glasses in it so that when you pull it out and then when it crashes, it ruins everybody's shoes.
And then just spills all the shots everywhere on the floor.
And then you light it, and then you have like this cool bonfire.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Well, if it's outdoors, this is a great idea.
And well, I played it a couple weeks ago at my curling club. We were having a bonspiel, and they had this oversized Jenga. It was super fun. And we had one beer in one hand and then playing with the other. And that
or my best idea yet, Jenga plus friendship elevator. Playing Jenga in the elevator with strangers.
I think you're onto something for sure.
Get like one of those like crappy $3 tables from like Bed Bath & Beyond, those little round ones, you know? It's a good time.
Yeah. Okay, so you have 1 minute. It's okay. I feel like our thing is just going to be going over time. And it's just...
That's okay. We can go a little bit over today.
It is what it is.
If we're past somebody's bedtime, sorry. We'll tell your mom. So my game is...
Before you move on, that Sarah said that she has seen a tiny Jenga. Like a little mini one.
Oh my God.
That would be... I don't know if that would be awesome or terribly frustrating.
With chopsticks.
Yeah.
And it'll blindfold and your hands covered in rubber cement. That's true.
I like Florian's idea here. Jenga and friendship elevator combined. Every person who gets on the elevator has to move one block.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. And then like we'll lose like one of the pieces like down the tiny crack in the elevator. Be like,
and then the person who makes it fall has to then stay in the elevator.
We hit all the buttons.
And they have to reset the power, and then when it falls, then they get to go. And
then when people come on the elevator, they have to bow to them and say, I crashed the tower.
Yes.
Look out. You do not want to be in an elevator with me. You see this face on an elevator, all of a sudden you got diarrhea. You got to go.
All right. Speaking of that, what is your...
My game is by a good friend of mine. And I'm really excited because she wasn't a friend of mine when I met her, because that makes sense. But my game is Shogunate by Adrienne Ezell. And I'm particularly proud of this because at Geekway to the West in St. Louis, I used to be in charge of all of the events, and I used to be in charge of the game design contest. And I had an idea that we would have like a Shark Tank like thing where basically Mayday Games was our sponsor, and they narrowed it. People sent in videos and rule books. They narrowed it down to the top 4, and then every designer got 30 minutes to talk about their game, play it with play testers, a lot of feedback. So you really got to like get in and see the game. And so Adrienne's game was picked up as a result of being in the game contest.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So like, this is a game that like she made it, but I helped create the environment in which it found its audience. And if there's anything about your girl Kathleen enjoys creating opportunities for people that they wouldn't have otherwise. I just love stuff like this. So I'm really proud of this because she's become a friend. I mean, she came up from Memphis. We hung out this weekend. It was great. This was the game that everybody got at Geekway this past year. So there's lots of copies in people's hands, which is super exciting. So I'm super excited because I think she's a great designer and a super fun person. And I'm just really excited that I got to help bring this one. So this isn't supposed to be about me. It's a really interesting game of choices where you like pick cards. Cause what's interesting is when people have like their different factions and you, the one person gets to basically say the order in which people can take their different action cards, and that can create some interesting strategic sort of scenarios. So
cool.
So Shogunate by Adrienne Ezell.
Cool. Love it. Yeah. And I forgot that. So you might have noticed that my shelf is completely bare behind me. And that's not because we just moved in or are moving out or anything like that. I'm taking a page out of, if you don't watch Girls Game Shelf on YouTube, you should. It's an awesome YouTube show where they review games. And the host, I think it's Christina Amaretto, is hilarious. They're all hilarious. But at the end of the show, they decide whether the game makes their shelf or not. So I'm going to be adding Jenga to my shelf. And as the episodes go on, you're going to see more and more games show up back there. So I'm going to put this.
I like that you're proving your point by actually getting up to do it. In case people thought you were kidding.
No,
she's seriously getting up to put it on the shelf. Oh my God.
It's there.
You'll have a composite of all of the different games. I love it.
Yeah. And then 2 years from now, it'll be full. So we're doing this for at least 2 years. There you go.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. Forever. What else do I got to do on the first Thursday night of the month? Nothing. No. No, I'm so excited. No, I mean, actually, that's a good segue. I'm really excited about this. I love that we get to talk with each other. I love that we're going to be able to bring so many great people on. And so if you are a member of the Broads and you're ready to come on and talk about who you are and what you're doing, shoot us a message. Please don't be shy and wait to be asked. Luck favors the prepared. Luck favors the bold. You know, if I was shy about putting my little pigeon pooping game in front of a bunch of men, I would not have anything. I would not have a game. You know what I mean? You just gotta do it. So jump in, let us know, speak up for yourself. We want to hear your voice, and we will be more than happy to support you.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Yay.
All right. Well, should we wrap up?
Yes.
Our outro?
Yeah, what the song that you wrote that you were telling me about? Go ahead, sing it right now.
I'm
Go
gonna
now.
Keyboard right here. You can't see it, but yeah. You're gonna send it. You're gonna end the night for us.
Oh, well, this has been the inaugural episode of Board Game Broads with Pam Wells and myself, Kathleen Mercury. We just want to say thank you for sliding down this roller coaster covered in honey butter and hopefully landing in inspiration and excitement for all the fun that board games and the people in them can bring to our lives. Yes. See you next month. I just winked. I winked again.
Yes. And I will not hold it against you that it is Pam Walls, but that's okay.
What'd I say? Oh God. What'd I say? Pam Wallace?
Wells. That's okay. I get Wallace and Wells because that's
a stupid mistake. You can call me Uranus. Call me Uranus. It's cool. I'm sure that's what all my students do when they think it's hilarious.
Oh my God.
So this is Kathleen Uranus saying thank you.
There you go. That is hilarious and will always be hilarious. Your students are right.
Poop.
Well, from Kathleen Uranus and Pam Wells, thank you for joining us. And what's up, my best friend Monica? Hi. Well, from Kathleen Uranus and Pam Wells, thank you for joining us.
I can hear the echo. That's awesome.
Oh my God, what is happening? I'm sorry. My computer just freaked out. This is amazing. Hello, first episode.
It's all gonna be great.
Here we go. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
And we'll see you later.